All right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It's Wednesday, and that means we've got a great show in store for you. You're not going to miss it. A lot of things to talk about. Last time we saw you, we were live from Denny's trying the Beetlejuice menu. They had 4 items, and it was interesting to say the least. A lot of people tuned in to watch that episode. And let's see, we're going to recap. At this point, I have seen the Beetlejuice movie, Beetlejuice, and Wednesday has seen the Beetlejuice movie. And the question is, what did we think of it? I know exactly what I think. I am locked in my opinion, but Wednesday could have a completely different opinion than me. Sean Clark is away on assignment, so he will not be able to join us today, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. So, enough of the tomfoolery. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, where I'm heading, where Wednesday's heading, much more after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there can waste time with that. All right, before we get too started, get started. I don't like to get too serious on the show. Try never to get serious, but today is September 11th. I am a native New Yorker, born and raised, and we've got to remember the people who lost their lives on September 11th, and the people who lost their lives fighting for our freedom, and people who lost their lives going down there to work, and all the kind of things that happened. So. It would be it's got to be mentioned. It's sad. It's the worst tragedy on American soil. Just terrible. And so we want to make sure that anyone who's affected, and if you were a New Yorker like myself, who I have family who are affected, friends who are affected, you want to let them know that you're thinking of them. I'm hoping we can offer a distraction. I will tell you that I get messages every day saying that they look forward to this because they need the distraction. Because they like to laugh and not think about life. The world is a crazy place right now. I would have quit a long time ago doing this had I not realized people enjoy it so much and like the distraction. So anyway, let's bring in Wednesday 13. How are you, Wednesday?
Poof. I'm good. What's up?
Now, today is Wednesday, but Friday is Friday the 13th.
It is. It is.
It's a good time.
A lot of people get me confused. A lot of you'd be amazed how many people will look right at my name, see that it says Wednesday 13, and they'll say Friday the 13th.
I'm
just
seeing
like
a
that.
lot of
Usually in an accent just like that. Usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people sharing Michael Myers memes and saying Happy Friday the 13th. Some might be doing it in jest, but I think some people are confusing their characters.
Well, I believe that sounds like the case there. Everybody knows that Leatherface is Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm. People often ask me if my mother named me after Jason and Friday the 13th. I've never revealed my age on this show ever. I told most people that I was 75, but I do have a big birthday coming up, and people keep asking me, they want to get me something. So I put together one of these Amazon registries. I mean, listen, people are nice enough just to watch the show, but if they want to get me something, we'll put that out soon. But I am going to be 50 years old, the big 50, on November 23rd. That means I was born in 1974. Friday the 13th came out in 1980, I think. And so, no, I was not named after Jason, but I am happy to share my name with such a cinematic icon.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And I met Betsy Russell. Is that her name? Betsy Palmer? I don't know which one it is.
Who? Jason's mom?
Jason's mom. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm. And she's nuts. She's dead now, but she was nuts at the time. She gave me a big hug and she told me to kill for mommy. And she said she loves her Jason. And I think I could have got her to be between us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she was about 100. But
well.
anyway, so we're talking about the big holidays. Let's talk about Beetlejuice. Then we'll
Hmm.
talk about where we're going to be spending this big holiday weekend because we're both hitting the road very soon. And if people would like, they could come see me, or they could come see you, or they could see Sean Clark in different parts of the country. Uh, so the Beetlejuice menu, we went to Denny's. Very
Hmm.
popular video. People are liking it. You
Very,
and
very
Sean.
popular. Lots of comments. Lots of people really pondering questions and like really, really thinking. And I'm just like find myself thinking about how they're even thinking about me eating food. Some people were really concerned. Some people think that I might be autistic
Hmm.
because of my food. Some people say I may be artistic because of my habits.
Hmm.
The
Are
jury's
either of
out.
those
We don't
true?
really know yet. So, but a lot of people have discussed it, talked about it. Some people will just say, "Well, dude, just come to my house and I will feed you." It's not that they don't understand. It's not that I haven't had the chance to eat these things. I just was sheltered by my family. As I got older, it was just weird, the textures and stuff. And I'm just like certain people don't like certain things. I just happen to like a or not like a lot of things.
Well, you grew up in North Carolina,
Hmm.
and not everyone has the big city diet. You tried different things. Did your
No,
pa- were your parents ever concerned about your eating habits?
no. And let me explain this to people too, because a lot of people don't understand, and I don't even really understand it. I understand it now because it was a money thing. My family never ever went out to eat ever. If we ever did, it was two places. There was the West. There we are, throwing balloons up. It was
Right.
the Western Steer, Western Sizzler. It was a not a sizzler, a Western Sizzler, and that was like a really cheap steakhouse. And then the other place was just like a seafood place, which we had in the South. These places called fish camps, which were basically I see you laughing. It's a real thing. Uh, but basically, they had a lake outside of the restaurant, and they would get the fish from that place, and it was called a fish camp. So that was my level of going to restaurants. Nothing ever. I mean, not even a Waffle House. There was no IHOPs. I never no Applebee's. None of that stuff. I didn't go to a Applebee's or a TGI Fridays till I was like 19 years old. Or, like, believe it or not, like way late in the game. Uh, so in my family, they didn't really eat like they didn't eat Mexican food. They didn't eat Chinese food. There
I'm
was just
shocked. I'm shocked.
country food. So if it wasn't on the country Cracker Barrel kind of menu, it wasn't at our house. And if it looked kind of weird to me at the house, I ain't gonna eat that. Love my mom to death, but sometimes she probably didn't cook the best stuff.
Did your siblings or your parents eat more adventurous than you?
Yes, but not much. I mean, there was never like salads and stuff. I never saw that kind of stuff till I got out on my own. It was just biscuits and gravy and you know um, literally it was just country eating. And we lived by we had one of those little fry daddy things, and we made fried chicken, and I learned how to make fried chicken, and I could come home from school and fry up some chicken and sit down and watch Saved by the Bell and just enjoy my life.
Is it fair to say that Joey Jordison discovered you?
I would say yes, absolutely. Yeah,
And
yeah, but once I met him, I realized he was probably just as weird as I was. He was sheltered, a little small town, and I think he was only adventurous only because he had a couple of years on me with traveling the world with Slipknot.
that's what I was thinking. Was he from Iowa?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were very, very similar in the upbringing and in the small town, and he loved it that it was that similar. I didn't realize how similar it was till I got there. There's
What
nothing.
year? What year did you meet Joey?
Uh, Actually, it's funny. It's kind of basically 23 years ago, about a month after, maybe not even a month after 9/11, I started talking to Joey around this time 23 years ago. And once we realized we were going to do something, he booked a flight for me, and I was on an airplane basically within a month of 9/11. So first time ever getting on an airplane too, was going to Iowa. And if anyone that ever flew around 9/11 or after, it's, for a first time flyer and a guy that watches movies nonstop, you got nothing but movie scenarios and
The Delta
commando,
plane.
thinking, how am I going to jump out of this airplane if I got to get out of the back of this airplane? But when I got there, I mean, it was military, people with machine guns. I mean, it was serious, serious business. So, um, and it was, and I had to take like 3 flights to get to Iowa. Like there was like one of what we call the puddle jumper airplanes, the propeller planes that get from Chicago Midway to Iowa, and it was like freezing, and it's terrifying, you know. But
Well, and you're still a kid essentially. You're in your 20s at that point.
20, 25, 24, maybe. Yeah, 24.
And growing up in the South with a family that didn't necessarily, weren't adventurous, as you said, and also didn't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? And so, what you find some fame. The Murder Dolls becomes
Hmm.
a popular band. Joey obviously was already popular. Now, as you're out there for the first time with your bandmates, do you start to realize that maybe your eating habits are strange compared to them?
Yeah, I realized that instantly. But then that's when I started trying stuff, and that's because you'd be at cater. Like, we luckily with Joey's fame, it instantly got us good gigs. Like, we did 6 weeks touring with Iron Maiden, so we got to go to Iron Maiden's catering every day. So you can imagine what that was like for a 40-man crew. It was a big thing. So you walk in, and I'm just like, "Where's the fried chicken and macaroni and cheese?" And they're like, "What are you talking about, mate?" And I'm like, "What? There's
It's
only a
funny.
thousand things here. What can I try?" So that's where it starts. So it's and with you guys now getting me to try stuff, it's almost like, hey, it's maybe I could try some stuff. I'm it's a whole new thing. Getting close to 50.
In the yes, in the mid '90s, I worked for Troma, makers of the Toxic Avenger, and we went to the Cannes Film Festival a couple of years. I didn't have a lot of money, and Troma
Hmm.
certainly didn't pay me a lot of money. And you would get to go to these big. Oh, look at that! There's Toxic. I love the Monster Hero. Yeah, Toxic's
Hmm.
over my shoulder
Got
right
me a
there.
little Toxic Avenger shelf here now. I can look at
I
right
have one
now.
myself. It's funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, But so we would get invited to the big Cannes Film Festival movie screenings and parties, and they would have food like paella. I never had that before, seafood. But I was
Hmm.
broke, and I figured I just better eat anything that's free. And I think I started to broaden my palate at that point. But when we first met and you came on the show, it's
Hmm.
over a year now
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you've been coming on the show. And again, Stevie Rochelle of Metal Sludge and the band Tough, he said, "Well, you
Hmm.
guys are going to have so much in common." And I said, "Okay, well, let's find out." We did the interview, and I thought, I don't think we're going to have that much in common. And here we are, still talking all this time later. But that's when I started to realize that there were certain things you didn't eat, and the
Hmm.
ones that shocked people were a salad, a hamburger, a taco, pancakes, and little by little, and then Sean Clark started joining us, and little by little, we sort of had fun seeing what Wednesday would try. And it's
Hmm.
interesting because Wednesday, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, there's a new delicacy that everyone's talking about. I don't know if you would try this, but from what I heard here, people are eating the dogs and they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. That's what I heard.
Well, I've heard about this from Alf,
Mhm.
because his love for cats as well. But I was thinking about that too, about eating animals, and I was thinking, the animals that I've eaten, and animals that I haven't eaten, which is a lot.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about, and we were talking about my upbringing, and I was kind of the first person in my family besides my father to go out and do anything. And my father, the only reason he did anything is because he was drafted into Vietnam when he was 19 and spent 9 years in the army. So he was the only other person to ever get on an airplane in my family besides me, uh, as well. So uh, I forgot where I was going with that. Um,
Well, we're talking about the different ways that you experience different foods. Your father had to experience different food. He got drafted. You're going to be
yeah.
in Vietnam.
Oh
You're
yeah.
going to,
Okay. I know where I was going. Sorry. Uh, you probably go. Please don't go that way. But my dad told me that he was starving one night, and he was in some village eating, and he was eating some mystery meat, and then he found out while he was eating it that someone told him that it was dog,
mm,
and he spit it out very quickly.
you
It
sure he
made
wasn't in Springfield, Ohio? Because I hear that it's a big epidemic there. Of
well, I haven't talked to my dad today,
mm, right. Yeah, true. Wednesday,
so
Wednesday, you should know that Sean Clark can't join us because he's on his way to Ohio. He said he would not be bringing his pets because it is a major security concern. I want to say the show, by the way, is brought to you by the great viewers.
oh, is that what he meant by that? I was trying to. My brain was. I didn't get that one.
Yeah,
I
no,
get
he's
it now.
going to Ohio, but he elected officials are saying that people are eating the dogs and they're eating the cats and they're eating the pets. But anyway, Rask, thank you so much. I do believe we know that this is Swedish money now. This is 27 Swedish. I don't know what the term is, dollars, but she, I believe it's a she. Is this a she Wednesday or a he or they?
Uh,
They
I
could be
see a
anything they
must.
want.
I see a mustache and a little. What
That
do they
looks like
call
Ming the
those?
Merciless.
Uh, yeah, he looks like
Rask,
me. Looks like
Raz,
me.
if you'd like to identify yourself. If not, you can be whatever you like. Jason Wednesday Rule, thank you so much. And we appreciate that. The show is really kept alive. The chat is going insane. People are going insane. I'm going to get to some of these comments, but it's so much going on. It's hard for me to read it all. And I'm seeing a lot of.
I was going to say, about small town eating animals. This isn't something that's new. So anyone that's thinking that it isn't real, it may not happen a lot, but it does happen. People
But
stray
does it
outside of the.
happen? But does it happen in Ohio? Do you think that
Well,
migrants
I
are
mean,
breaking into
I'm going to
people's
tell you what
houses?
happened in North Carolina when I wasn't even living there. So I
Mhm.
got a good friend that I always call back home and check in with, my buddy Crazy Eddie. I always check in. So I called him in the middle of come home from a tour one time, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "You ain't going to believe what happened up at the seafood place at the Captain's Galley." I went, "What happened?" And he said some of the Mexican staff that couldn't even speak English, because this way he's explaining it to me and the way it
Mhm.
was in the press. They brought a goat into the kitchen of the place after hours and used all the utensils and cut it up so they could take it home and eat it. And then they didn't clean all the utensils, and a bunch of old people got sick and died.
Mm.
So
Well,
I just
crazy.
took that. I just took that story Saint elsewhere.
Well, his first name is crazy. He obviously knows. Uh, Andrea
Oh,
or Andrea. I think it's on Andrea. I'm going to go with.
mm.
Have you guys ever had play dates at each other's houses? I have had a play date at Wednesday's house, but the only time that we saw each other in Vegas, he was playing to 150,000 screaming fans, so he
Yes.
was not able to come over for a play date. People are talking about the Coca-Cola that he is drinking. Wednesday, you like Coke Zero, right?
This cherry
Have you
Coke Zero has been my jam for many moons now.
have you
Uh,
had the Oreo
I
Coke
did.
Zero?
I had it this week,
What do you
or
think?
I thought it was excellent. 'Cause I was staring at it. I was waiting to purchase it, and I'm like, "What could this taste like?" And I started thinking about it, and my brain went, "Hmm." It's kind of like a float, like a Coke float with
Yeah.
vanilla. You could maybe put a cookie in that. I could see that working. All right, maybe Dr. Pepper too.
I liked
Uh,
it. I tried it. I think it's better on ice. I think it tastes better on with a little ice, makes it a little colder. I didn't think it was the greatest thing. I'm not sure I'm going to go out and buy a case, but it was enjoyable. It was better than that Beetlejuice. Uh,
yes, it's really good. And I saw today someone had paired up a Coke Oreo with Coke Oreo cookies. They made cookies that have a red and white cream. So that's what I'm hoping somebody will bring me at the convention this weekend. Bring me some of the Oreo uh Coke Zeros and the Oreos, and we'll eat them together. That way I can take some pictures and have my teeth completely filled with Oreos, because you know how they do. It'll be great for photo ops.
Wednesday will be appearing in Pennsylvania this weekend. We're going to get to that. We're going to promote it. But right now, this is a very important news topic. We're jumping over. We'll get to Beetlejuice. Wednesday 13's nail polish. Jason and Wednesday. This is a big sensitive news story. What are your thoughts, opinions? I think they said options, but it's opinions about the Dave Grohl situation. I'll go first because Wednesday doesn't like to rock the boat with the fellow musicians as much as I do. Dave Grohl is the most overrated musician in history. There has never been a person we need less than Dave Grohl. I mean, honestly, the drummer for Nirvana is where it should end. But then he's got this Foo Fighters. I don't hate the Foo Fighters, but I've never owned a Foo Fighters record. I've never gone to a Foo Fighters concert. I've met Dave Grohl several times. By the way, he's always a very nice guy. And I like that he plays rock and roll music. And I like people who support live rock music. I like that he brings Rick Astley on stage and does crazy things. He played drums with Ghost. I don't think he's a bad dude, but someone decided that he is going to be the president of music and he is going to be his opinions on everything. He's going to host everything. He's going to be in the Beatles now. And boy, we had Dave Grohl overkill. But people started to think Dave Grohl could do no wrong. And apparently, Wednesday, are you up on this story?
Mm-hmm. I am. I am.
Dave Grohl is having a child with a woman who is not his wife. He has
Well,
a wife.
I mean, isn't that sort of the old rock and roll story? I do that joke on stage. I goes, who's seen me 20 years ago? Who, and I make a joke. Hey, some of you may be my kids.
Mhm.
Well, Dave Grohl found out one of them is his kids.
Yeah, and he's going to man up and he is going to raise this child as if it was his own. It is his own half, not his wife's. And so my opinion is this shouldn't really be a news story. Who cares? I didn't care about Dave Grohl. There's nothing about Dave Grohl I care about. And the fact that he's banging chicks on the side just shows that he's human. But this is an issue between him and his wife. I say the same about Dave Ellefson of Megadeth, who
Yep.
got caught having relations via phone with a woman, a young woman. They say that he was talking to her when she was under 18. The messages that were found, she was 18 by a day or two, allegedly. A friend of the girls was angry and released the messages, which also had video of Dave Grohl naked from the waist down. He pleasures himself. He men are disgusting in general, and he hobbles off to get tissues to clean himself, and it's just embarrassing and sad. And what do you want? You want to add something to that, Wednesday?
I wish I wouldn't have seen that video.
A lot of people
That's
feel
all.
that
That's
way.
all. Because it's just, I know Dave, and Dave was my rep for Peavy. He was
Yeah.
the Peavy rep. For a lot of people don't know that he was the for the company Peavy, the amp company, and he's who I spoke to get my amps years ago. And I accidentally clicked on the video one morning, and it was uh it was him running hobbling off to get a tissue, and I was like, "What am I? Oh no!" Then I'll do 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 do. I just could now when I hear that bass line, I think of him hobbling off for a tissue.
That baseline was also MTV News. Had MTV News still existed, he would have been the news story. Kurt Loder would have talked about his masturbatory affair. So
True.
my thought, and I still see Dave Ellefson. I learned today that Dave Mustaine will no longer autograph anything signed by Dave Ellefson. So if you bring a record to him with Dave Ellefson's signature, he will flip it over and sign the back. And people are very upset by this. But my answer to the Dave Ellefson situation is, if the woman is of age, if she's 18, and then the only thing Dave Ellefson is guilty of is cheating on his wife. That's between him and his wife and his family. And he's a pastor. So that might not be
And a
the best.
coffee maker, and a bass player, and a bass rep, and this goes on and on. It's like Andy Griffith.
Yes. So those things might not, candlestick maker might not be the best things for his outlook. Johnny Monaco showed Michael Sweet the video. Was the when we were on a cruise, and Michael Sweet was going to jam with Dave Ellefson, and Johnny Monaco showed him the video. Michael Sweet was outraged. He chuckled a little, but but anyway. But so in that case, it's really between his family. If he didn't commit a crime, I
Right.
got to tell you, Wednesday, you're on the road with rock men and dogs all the time.
I
I bet
am.
you there's a lot of guys who go back to their room and have FaceTime chats with women and men or animals or whatever they're into. I think that that's
Most,
kind of normal rock and roll life. So
yes.
as far as Dave Grohl goes, I think the guy made a mistake in his marriage. I think he admitted to it. I think he wants to deal with it. He's not going to abandon this kid. And at the end of the day, I think this is a non-news story. I think he put it out to get ahead of it, but I don't think he needed to. All right, Wednesday. Do you have anything to
I
add?
think he either put it out to get ahead of it, or he's being punished by the lady going, you need to own up, and you need to tell everybody what you did. And I'm
Yeah.
doing that voice because that's my ex-wife's old voice. I can't help but do that. It's just sort of the Dice Clay in me as well. You Dicey. Anyway, uh,
Mhm.
so
Dr. Claus here.
but yeah, the story, why we're even hearing about it, is stupid. I don't care. It's dumb, and if anyone thinks that he's the only one out doing that and having children, think again.
Yeah.
So, but as far as Dave Grohl goes, he's been, in my history with him, he's been really, really cool to me, to the point where I didn't want to like him, and he was
Mhm.
so cool to me on several occasions that I became a fan of Foo Fighters just because of just how cool he was. And he was a huge fan of Joey's drumming, and he was really close with Joey, and that's how I got to know him. We did a tour, a 2 week tour in Australia with Foo Fighters headline this festival called Big Day Out. And we were traveling with them, same planes, had days off, and I got to see them every day, and I became friends with Taylor Hawkins, who just in the airport hanging out with him, and we had a day off, and Foo Fighters had an off show, and he was just hanging out in the airport. He goes, "What are you guys doing tomorrow?" I went, "Sitting around. I'm going to try to find a KFC." And he goes, "Why don't you play a show with us?" And I went, "Okay." And he calls Dave Grohl over, and um, either way, they set it up, and we do an off show with them in the middle of just the woods somewhere in Australia, and like Adelaide, I believe. And uh, there was one dressing room, like a trailer, and they gave it to Murder Dolls. They sat outside, and they went, take whatever you want, take whatever you ever rider, use whatever. And we destroyed their place with our makeup and everything. And uh, just and then years later, I saw Dave Grohl at the Music Awards, Revolver, and he came up to me and asked me where Joey was, and like, and just he's always been cool. And I got to see him play with Queens of the Stone Age when he played on that record, and I think his drumming on that record is like
Wow.
this level drumming. So
Yeah, he's
that's
definitely a nice guy, and he's definitely a talented guy. And
yeah.
listen, men stick their dicks in wrong places all the time.
Hmm.
Things happen, and life is hard, and you're on the road, and especially at his fame level, sometimes being on the road is not the easiest thing to be faithful. Dave Grohl could bang any golden girl he wants or any other celebrity. I mean,
I thought
every
you were about to go into those Journey lyrics. Living on the road ain't no place to start a family.
Mhm. It's
Loving in the music, man.
it's not easy out there. And
Oh,
Wednesday, your
girl.
audience, there's a lot of young, attractive women just meandering around the bus,
Lots.
Matt Thorne and I said to you once, not so much at the Stephen Pearcy concert, but we're very safe. But look, things happen. Dave Grohl is human. I don't think you cancel the guy because he wants to because he
No.
had an affair and he has his usual squeaky clean image. He's going to deal with that too. So it's a non-news story. But what is a news story is that Wednesday tried the Beetlejuice menu at Denny's. So
Yes.
you and
Yes.
Sean went to Denny's in California.
Mhm.
Michelle and I went to the Denny's here in Las Vegas, and we ordered all the things on the menu, and which was 4 items. We had pancakes, black and white striped pancakes that had little green sprinkles. Ours didn't have them, and chocolate chips. It came with eggs and bacon. We didn't even need the eggs and bacon. We got the Beetlejuicy burger, which was 3 burgers with a sauce, some kind of diner sauce they called it, and had bacon on it. And then we also had a cheese sandwich, essentially, a cheese stick sandwich. It was like a grilled
I loved
cheese.
it. Loved it.
Yeah, it was the most
Mhm.
boring thing, but it was your
Oh,
favorite.
not for
The,
me.
it was a melt of provolone cheese, not very much of it, and then cheese sticks in between. Wednesday, you said when you had it that this is something a stoner would make in the middle of the night, like a delicacy.
That's what I would have made in the middle of the night and would still make in the middle of the night if I had access to mozzarella sticks, which I do have access. I just make myself not buy these things and
Right.
keep them. Now that there's an air fryer, you can make everything, everything.
hmm The and then it had a side of marinara sauce that you were against. You don't like tomatoes,
And then
and
Sean's like, put it in there. And I've told him, and I watched the video later because uh, it made me giggle quite a bit. We were pretty funny. And I told him uh, he's like the guy from Saw with like sauces with me and trying food.
Sean Sean
He
is
wants to like torture me and like, oh, eat this, put it in your mouth. Now
Sean
it's
knew that
scary.
he was going to try. He knew. He started calm. He's like, "You come on, you gotta." But I agreed with Sean. That thing needed that sauce. I covered mine in that sauce.
Why do you need sauce when it's
Mm.
already got that delicious melted cheese and you're just gonna sauce it up and just although
It was
I didn't
dry.
think it was that bad actually, just a little bit of it. So it wasn't horrible. But just to douse it in it, I would have to be something maybe years from now, maybe. But you know,
Well, look, you're making a lot of progress. So then we had the Oreo cookie shake, the cookies and
yes.
cream or something like that shake. And
Hmm.
so I thought the best thing was the Beetlejuicy burger, followed by the pancakes, then the shake, and then that grilled cheese sandwich was last for me. What about you?
I'm gonna say that the cheese stick sandwich was number one, and then the Beetlejuice slam, which was the pancakes, eggs, and bacon. I ate all my eggs and bacon because I was hungry,
Mhm.
and I like breakfast. I'm more adventurous with breakfast foods uh, than other foods. I've noticed. Um, and then I thought the shake was okay. Once me and Sean like kind of split it up, it didn't look so good. It just like a big, just like, bleh, and I just kind of started looking at it and went, I don't want this. Um, and what was the other? And I didn't have the burger because I don't eat burgers yet.
Right. Not yet. We're working on a place for you to have.
I'm not going to eat a triple burger to get going. Why would I do that? That's doing 3 times the work.
Richard says So I'm now listening to some of Wednesday's 13's music, and I'm digging it. Wow! And my 11-year-old son is a huge fan. Thanks, Jason, for having Wednesday 13 on your show. He's freaking cool. I will tell you that Wednesday, I get people who say I don't like Wednesday's music. I don't get it. But boy, do
Mhm.
I love him on the show. I have other people who say the opposite, and I have a lot of people who say older people who say I've discovered Wednesday's music through your show, which is great. And we reach a different audience. And listen, it's the same for me. There's a lot of your fans who now have come to watch this show, and Sean Clark as well. I should
Mhm.
point out, it's been a good, dare I say, threesome to get reach different audiences. Okay, so we had the Beetlejuice menu. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the video, it's on YouTube. Check it out. By the way, I'm almost at 20,000 subscribers. So if there's anyone watching who hasn't subscribed yet, I know it's unbelievable. Please do. I'm like 300 away. That's a big milestone in the YouTube world, and it would help immensely for us to do these shows. Hold on, I think we have a super chat. This is from AZ. AZ says, rank the following artists in descending order of evil. All right, we'll get back to Beetlejuice, but this is a Beetlejuice tie-in.
Well, okay.
Pee Wee
It's so
Herman.
funny. I'm watching my phone in real time, and I'm watching my computer. It's a little delay, but I can't read it until it gets to my computer because I'm so blind now.
I
I'm
completely understand.
blind.
Pee Wee Herman, Dave Ellefson, and Jeffrey Jones. What do these people have in common? Masturbating.
Who's Jeffrey Jones?
Jeffrey Jones is the star of Beetlejuice. He is the principal
Oh,
in Ferris
okay.
Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, he's in Howard the Duck.
He is definitely in Howard the Duck. So, in terms of evil, I guess we're going for who did the worst thing.
I mean, didn't Jeffrey Jones do like some like underage like child
Well,
stuff?
let's be careful with what we say.
I wasn't going to say that. You stopped
The,
me before I
the,
said the
the, the,
child.
the yeah, the algorithm doesn't understand that
Right.
we're talking as adults here. Um, so he was involved in some things that would be considered illegal. He calls it kitsch art. He was a collector of kitsch art, but some of the art might have involved people who were not of age, and they happen to be boys. Not that that matters. But anyway, it sounds like he probably committed the biggest crime.
Yeah, he'd be the only thing could to be evil, I guess,
He
because
also has accusations against him, numerous counts of fondling grope. He has the strongest case against him, but he is out on probation. I will tell you that after this, he appeared at the Hollywood Collector Show. Crazy. And I did get a picture with him at that show, and he hasn't been seen since. He's also Criswell and Ed Wood. Ed Wood, by the way, one of the
great
greatest
movie.
movies of all
Oh,
time.
I just watched it recently. Another one of my heroes, Ed Wood.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible. That movie is just so great, and he is Criswell. He predicts, but so I would say that he is the most evil if you're because he sounds like he did some bad things. Pee Wee Herman was at an
What?
adult movie theater. What do
That's what
you
you
think?
do there, right?
That's what you do. What are you doing there? He didn't harm anybody. The people around him were probably all doing the same. Um, so here's the toss up. Was the girl that Dave Ellefson was talking to underage at some point? Was he cheated on his wife? He cheated on the church. I'm going to say Dave Ellefson is more evil than Pee Wee Herman.
Hey, is that the name of my new record? Cheat on the church. Cheat on the church.
That would be good. But
That's
I think
good.
Dave Ellefson might be more evil than Pee Wee.
I can't believe we're even discussing this. I think Jeffrey Jones just sounds evil because he sounds like Jim Jones. So you automatically think he just is scary. You think
He's
you
the
might
most.
want to. You don't want to drink anything that he serves.
He's definitely the most.
So I'm gonna put him evil first. If we got to judge any of these people, he's number one. Dave Ellison. If you got to put him in, he's not evil, and neither is Pee Wee. So
Yeah.
I say, whatever.
That's
But
true. I wouldn't call either evil.
yeah,
We'll leave it up to God to judge. Uh, anyway, So,
God,
did you hear the thunder? Uh,
God.
Anyways, so back to Beetlejuice. So we had a good time. We experimented with many foods, and then it was time to go see the Beetlejuice movie. And did we ever? I went on Thursday night. Is that when you went?
Yes, I did. I was thinking, I was like, what day was it? It was that day. Sorry, I'm
When
looking
I
at something.
went, all of the propaganda that you're about to show us was sold out already.
Oh, I don't have any good problem. I was looking for my fake cigarette.
Oh, I went to the Regal Cinema, and all they had was the Beetlejuice Grave popcorn holder for $35, and you could buy the popcorn for 50% off. That's what they were saying. But the Grave
Mhm.
didn't look that cool to me. They had no drink toppers, no nothing. Now, this is how we should say what we thought of the Beetlejuice movie, right? Then we'll discuss it. But we should each make a fist like this, and then if we liked it, we give the thumbs up, and if we didn't like it, we give the thumbs down. Now, let me be more specific. We could say, what was it really good, or do we recommend it? Okay, so on the count of three, here is Wednesday and I's reviews of the Beetlejuice movie. I think we're going to be very different. And one, two, three. See, and Wednesday got a show. So Wednesday liked it more than I did. Now I don't. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, there may be some spoilers now. Um,
Yes.
I
Spoiler
didn't.
alert.
I didn't hate it, and I also don't think that people who are fans of Beetlejuice shouldn't see it. I think you should. I think you'll. It's enjoyable. But the discussion that I'm hearing people say, and it's the one I agree with, is there's too many storylines that really don't pay off. There's every
Yes.
character has a storyline, and I think it got lost. The worst character to me, well, it's a toss-up. Justin Theroux, that's Lydia Dietz's husband. He's a little goofy.
I liked
Wha-
him. I thought he was he surprisingly, I thought I was going to hate him, and I thought he was the perfect jerk.
Well, no, he played the character well.
Yeah.
I just didn't believe that Lydia Dietz would marry that guy. Um,
Right.
but his character went into its own arc. Worse than
Yeah.
that to me was Monica Bellucci, who is Tim Burton's
Yeah.
wife. He's infamous for putting his wives in his movies, only second to Rob Zombie. But so that character didn't pay off for me.
No,
Jenna
that
Ortega,
yeah, that didn't really, that didn't make sense. That was the one thing that I was like, that could have just not even, that could have not even have been there, maybe, or something else
didn't
could have
either.
been. Yeah, it didn't even need to be there. It just seemed like, just like, I don't know.
A lot of people hate Jenna Ortega because she's the kind of the it girl. Sometimes people get tired of seeing the same person. She's the new
Mhm.
queen of horror because she's Wednesday Addams and she's in the Scream movies. I thought she was fine, but I don't think they made her character angsty enough. She should have been a little bit more like Lydia was in the first movie. And then her storyline with the guy and all these things, that got a little lost too. And then Catherine O'Hara, who a goth legend, that's Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, her character, everything was, there was a lot going on. I would have wished they saved Beetlejuice for later in the movie. I thought they showed him too soon. I would have liked it just like the first movie, build up to when we first see Beetlejuice. And I liked the idea that say Beetlejuice, she needs Beetlejuice to help her get revenge. That's a great idea. I like that. Got to get my daughter back. Who do I turn to? Beetlejuice. But then in the first 3 minutes, Beetlejuice has to use the restroom and they're separated. And then that whole story gets separated. Also, for me, I think the Bob characters are funny. I think the Soul Train was incredible. That was funny. Um, I was happy to see the Tim Burton
I
movie.
hated that part. I could have done without that part.
See, it's we you and I
Yeah.
could be the new Siskel and
Yeah.
Ebert. You didn't like the Soul Train.
I was like, that part could, I could have got. I don't. You
Mhm.
know. I found myself the first 20 minutes or so really in my brain picking it apart, going, stop doing, and I kept telling myself, stop, enjoy this for what it is. It's never going to be the way it was when you were 12 years old, or however I was when it came out.
Mhm.
And just enjoy it. I haven't been to a movie. I try to put myself into a movie where I'm like, I'm going to enjoy it. So uh I went in with, well, I went in with that aspect or trying to with a good mindset. But the previews for me were so horrible. I was ready to leave before the movie even started. I was so angry.
Me too. And they were so, and
Like
it was
so
like a
mad.
half hour. It was a
It was
half
a half
hour.
hour of bullshit. I couldn't
Mhm.
believe it. Like Chelsea had to calm me down. I was like, this is ruining this for me. Like I'm there with a big bucket of popcorn. I bought the book, the recently deceased tin. I'm holding it like a big fan, and I'm so mad. I'm ready to leave. And so 20 minutes into it, I'm picking it apart, and then I stopped, and then I enjoyed it. And when Beetlejuice baby came in, I was happy for the rest of the movie.
I'm
And then
not sure.
and then it happened again, and I was even like after that, I was like, I want to see it again just because of that. I have it's so stupid.
I believe that you may have had an artificial substance involved. Not artificial, actually a natural substance.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it was IMAX. I haven't been to the movies in since COVID. Before
Yeah.
COVID, I haven't seen a movie. I didn't know they could do that these days. That was
Mhm.
crazy.
I
Uh, yeah,
sorry, I'm letting some people get their word in too,
I've
but
never watched Wednesday, the show, so that was my first time ever watching Jenna Ortega in anything. So I
yeah,
didn't dislike her. I didn't really have anything to judge her on. Uh, I liked the story with the dude. I thought that was a cool twist.
it was a good twist.
I think that should have been the whole story, and they should have
Yes,
built it around that because that
I
was
agree.
cool. That was more like the original. You saw the family, but the other stuff. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get a DVD, and if you want to watch all that stuff that didn't make it, there probably is a 3 hour version of it. Um, I did like Michael Keaton in it. I
Mhm.
did think they showed him too quick, but someone told me they used him for the exact amount of minutes that he was in the first one. I don't know
Interesting.
if that I don't know if that's true. He was only in the first one 17 or 18 minutes.
I feel like
So
he did it more this time, but I felt like they revealed him too soon. I'm with you. I liked Jen Ortega and the boyfriend. I thought it actually was that was finally a twist, something that I didn't see um,
yeah,
coming.
the only other thing that I kept picking apart, I thought the acting was pretty bad. I don't think Winona Ryder's very good. Uh, but she's whatever. She never has been in my mind, but she's been fine. But not that I was expecting going with the win acting. It was just, I was kind of picking it apart there for a bit. I didn't like that guy, Justin, whatever. I didn't like him at first. Then I kind of liked him by the end. Um, but yeah, it was. I don't know. It was. I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, by the time Beetlejuice baby showed up, I went, all right, this is dumb enough to work for me. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I'm okay with it.
So yeah, and while I say I didn't think it was great, was I disappointed? Yeah, I mean a little, but what could you expect? I didn't have enough of the vibe of the first movie to me. I liked seeing the map again, the sculpture, and I like that. But I
Yeah, that
just
was
felt like
cool.
the vibe wasn't as dark as the first movie, and there was a
You
lot
know
of
what I saw, and I haven't looked it up or I haven't seen anybody post it because there's a million things going on. But I was zoning in to every little detail, probably because of substance and so I'm watching every little detail. And in the beginning of the movie with the credits, I believe when they're showing the model over the top, like the drone over whatever that camera, and it's showing the little cows and everything.
mhm.
I think I see the Batmobile.
Interesting.
I thought I saw the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
I bet
I
it.
don't
That's
know.
if you think you saw it, you probably saw it.
And then I kept paying attention to every little detail. And there's a couple scenes with Danny DeVito where you can't
Right.
see his makeup and his collar line, and that bothered me. So that's my really only complaints I have was the makeup inconsistency. I thought some of the makeup on some of the people looked good, and I thought some of it looked too much like makeup, if that
Yes, it
makes
was
sense.
very. Yeah, I agree. As far
So
as Jenna Ortega goes, she's on a show called You, that you can stream on Netflix that's really good. I highly recommend it. She's very young in it, but she showed that even as a young, it's almost teen, if that, she's a good actress, and I think she holds up. But I think her character is a little bit wasted. It's hard to show much of her because there's so many of the other. Every character has their own sort of story arc. But
Hmm.
all right, let's hold on.
How many people do you think will try to do Winona Banks and fail miserably?
A lot. This Halloween, you're gonna see, that's gonna be the number one costume. I gotta say, the chatting, I'm seeing a lot of nonsense, seeing a lot of side conversations. I'm seeing a lot of caps. I don't like to be the adult around here, but the mod is watching. The sheriff is in town, and so let's all act like we're normal while we talk about a movie like grown, responsible adults. Okay, but yes,
Yeah,
I think I like the experience of going to a movie. I definitely enjoyed
yeah,
going to the theater, um, and I liked going kind of opening night, and people were into it, and sort of
that was fun
I
to
was
see. It's
I was
packed.
impressed you went though. I was impressed
Me
because
too.
I thought that's a busy night for you to go to a movie.
I don't think I realized. I just went, yeah, 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 yeah. Just do it. I'll go. And then she's like, oh, I asked, what are we doing this week? Oh, we're gonna do this and this and this. Like I'm some. I like having a schedule of stuff. So I was like, oh, cool, we're doing this, and so it worked out. But yeah, the previews. I don't know what the. I think I've been in a time warp, and I've just been in this, and I have been. I've just been surrounding myself. All I watch is older stuff, and these previews for this 30 minutes of previews. There was only two movies that had real people in it,
Right.
and I'm just blown away by it. And that maybe I'm just I don't like it. I I don't like it.
There
That's
wasn't
all I
one
can
movie
say.
I wanted to see. The reason that we're going to see Beetlejuice is because movies stink so bad. We just want something that's old that reminds us of when we were
Yeah,
young.
exactly.
But so, yeah, but it was a fun experience. I didn't think it was the best movie. I'm not sure I need to see it again, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I saw it early before two jackasses go on the internet and spoil it for everybody.
Hmm.
That'd be us. Um,
And
I
and
was
they've
thinking,
made the Beetlejuice baby. They've already made it for
I've
pre-order.
seen it. Yeah. And now tomorrow you're leaving for, I believe it's called King of Prussia,
Hmm.
Pennsylvania. Is that right?
That is correct. I have been there many times.
Is there a Queen of Prussia,
I don't
Pennsylvania?
know. And me being the southern person I am and never traveling to those parts, when I first went there, I didn't know what people were saying. Like, we're going to the King of Prussia. And I'm like, do we get to meet the king? And I'm making a joke and I don't really know what it is. And then, but that's really been the place that anytime we're going into Philly or New York or with horrible parking, we kind of park up there. We'll have a day off, and sometimes we've even parked there and took a car into the city, and so there's a mall there, there's a Wawa, there's a bunch of hotels, there was a Chili's there that I almost got arrested at, and so I'm familiar, but this is my
You're,
first convention there.
you're going to be appearing at the Famous Monsters of Filmland convention. Do you know
Hmm.
who owns the Famous Monsters brand these days? I think he's a co-owner.
Corey Taylor and my friend Eben McGar own it, and
Hmm.
yeah, I knew that. I knew about it. I knew that was happening a long time ago, and I was encouraging Evan to. I was like, I hope you get it. I hope you get it, because what cooler thing to go with one of my good friends owns Famous Monsters. That's like that magazine is imagery alone and stuff I've borrowed and taken from it over the years and still take from it is the coolest. And now that he has the rights to that, when they put your picture on the advertisement, you look like you're on a magazine cover. It's just
Yeah,
the
they do
ideas
great.
are endless with that. It's so cool.
The look is great. I have a ton of original Famous Monsters signed art over here. It's
Hmm.
Basil was the guy's name.
Basil
I don't know how
Go-Go's.
yeah, Go-Go's. I don't know if that's how you say it, is it?
Probably not, but
Yeah, but at least we tried. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I love it. And I do love the imagery. They're doing good things. The T-shirts they're making are really cool. The convention seems to be a lot of fun. I wish I could join you. I have to go somewhere else. But before we get into where we're going and where we've been, I was thinking about you going to the airport tomorrow,
Mhm.
and I don't picture you traveling by yourself very well. Are you going alone?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I always roll along. I just take advantage if I can have someone do stuff for me and walk me through and baby me through because I enjoy it. But if I got to be on my own, that's totally fine too. So yeah, tomorrow I fly out of Burbank, and then I land in Philly sometime tomorrow afternoon.
There's going to be people waiting at the airport now.
Oh boy, I hope so. Bring me a coffee and bring me some of those Oreos.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been on a plane since I flew back
9/11.
from 9/11. Yeah, from wherever I was, Germany or London, and earlier this year when I went to Europe. So yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm excited. It's going to be a fun weekend. Peter Chris from Kiss is there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I met him in an elevator real quick. I didn't properly meet him, and so I'm looking forward to doing that. Ultraman's going to be there. William Shatner canceled.
Oh, whoa.
Carolyn Monroe, I think, canceled too.
I hope
Uh,
Shatner's okay. I worry about him.
uh, I think ever since he went to space, he might have jumbled up his insides, and I
He's a
don't know.
national treasure, and I worry about him. I want to point out that Shane says he can't make the convention, but he did pre-order an autograph, so you can do
Okay,
that, I guess, on the website. And I want people to know that pretty soon, Wednesday and I are going to do a live show where you can buy memorabilia. I've done them with Stephen Piercy. They're a lot of fun. They're on the Whatnot app. The link to that's in the description. If you sign up through the link here, you get 15 bucks for free that you could spend. And we're going to go through Wednesday's man cave where he hides all the memorabilia, and you guys could
yeah,
get your hands. So if you can't make it to the King of Prussia, we'll do this live where people you could chat with us and hang out. And if you want to buy some, what is that?
postcards.
Oh, cool.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, King Kong, Godzilla, Zombie. I was gonna hang these on the wall in here somewhere.
Hmm.
I just got junk, all kind of junk in here. I got bracelets. Uh,
But some of this stuff is out of print. Some of this is old collectibles, and this is your chance to get.
phone sockets for your phone. I'm gonna have these available for sale this weekend. These little guys that go
Mhm.
on your phone. So
Yeah, Boa was at the Piercy auction that we did live, and we had a lot of fun. And
I got a
and
few of these. Slip my wrist to put around your wrist. Ironically, don't try it at home, kids.
that's
Go to a
true.
friend's house.
People are excited to see, and he'll have photographs and he'll have vinyl albums and there'll be memorabilia.
Here's a picture my granddaughter drew of me and her.
Wow, look at that! It's just the resemblance is striking.
I know, it looks just like me,
Hmm.
and looks just like her too. Like
Does your
I keep.
granddaughter listen to Taylor Swift?
She was listening to that band Spirit Box last time I went and visited.
I
They're
don't know
pretty
that.
good. They're heavy. They got a female singer, and she was like growling to it. I was impressed.
Oh, she's into heavy stuff. You know, the
Yeah.
biggest thing is this chick, Chanel Roan. You know about her?
Mm-mm.
This is the biggest thing in music right now. I think I'm saying her name right.
Haven't heard
Chanel
about it.
Roan. She's mid-20s, and she's very angry, and she doesn't like men. I'm told, and she has some kind of dance that she made up, like the YMCA or something,
Really?
and she did it at like Coachella or something. Oh, look here, the brains will handle this. Chapel Roan, that's her name, and she has her own dance. And everyone at this outdoor festival, like a million people, did the dance at the same time. And this is the biggest thing in music right now amongst young people. We're so old. that we don't know. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm thinking about trying it. Magenta loves it, and a lot of the younger people are saying they enjoy it.
I've never
It's
heard of it. It sounds like a Godzilla fight.
she's
Godzilla
from.
versus Chapel Roan and Rodan.
I agree with you. She's from the Midwest, and she hot to go song and dance. I guess that's the song. Uh, Someone said they thought her name was Chanel, but I think it's Chapel. It's Chapel.
The only female things I've seen that caught my eye recently is this Amel and the Sniffers, sort of a punk thing from Europe, which is really, really good.
Mhm.
And then there's another girl. I don't know who she is, but she's like a blues. She wears like a leather cat suit. She's got blonde hair and she plays like a slide guitar. And she,
Orianthi?
no, she's kind of like a George Thorogood, but but thank goodness she doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a bad to the bone type sort of. I don't know what her name is, but saw some YouTube videos and it was really good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I wanted to show
But
people, impress people with our knowledge of world
I don't
music.
know. I guess I'll probably find out about this person now. When I see the name, I'll be like, haha.
Oh, well, a lot of people talking about my good buddy Emily Armstrong as well, who is the new singer for a co-singer for
Is she
Linkin
really your
Park.
buddy?
I mean, I don't know. We talked. She
Oh,
uh,
I've
she
never heard of her
directed
before this week.
I directed an award show in Las Vegas, the Vegas Rocks Awards, and they were trying some newer artists. And I wish I could remember some of the names. I forgot the names of most of the bands, but some were good. And I mean, Sammy Hagar was there too, a big. But anyway, her band was called Dead Sarah,
Hmm.
and I gave her some direction. I was told that she's a lesbian, nothing wrong with that. And I was told that she's a Scientologist. Okay. And I was told that she's difficult. She was nothing but pleasant with me. I did try to bang her, but it didn't go anywhere. So maybe it was true. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but Emily Armstrong is now the singer, co-singer in Linkin Park. I am not against it. I don't really give a fuck. How about you, Wednesday?
Never owned a Linkin Park record. Obviously, know of them and what they mean to the world, and they were a crossover band. They're not, you know what I mean? Like if you look at their views on YouTube, just in a day, it's just like it's insane. The people that care about that. Um, I watched their live stream. I watched how she came out. I thought it was a production wise. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool how they took all the sheets off their equipment. Um, I mean, it's up to. I mean, I don't know their history. Although I'm hearing about all this bullshit they're bringing up after the fact. Regardless of what it is. Um, I thought the way they handled the return coming back after the death of somebody was done well. I think that song's catchy. Like it's been stuck in my head. When I hear it, it's in my head for a while.
I
The
thought
same
they
with,
did
with a
good
lot
too.
with a lot of their songs, whether I like them or not, they're stuck in my head. I don't care for Limp Bizkit, but their stuff has been stuck in my head before.
Me too. I'm with you. And then listen, the band has a right to continue. He committed suicide. It's a tragedy. But the band, there's other guys who have a right to make a living and continue, and people want to hear that music. I think it's good they maybe went in a different direction, bring a female singer in. The other guy, Mike Shinoda, he sings a lot or raps or whatever it is that he does, and then she does like the screaming and things. I
Hmm.
think I thought it was a great way to introduce her. It wasn't just a novelty. Skid Row brought Lizzie Hale out for the hell of it. It was never going anywhere. Whereas in this
Right.
case, they've already got a new record. They put out a new single. They're going to go on a tour. They put out a pro shot concert. So you really got to see her. And
Yeah.
people might hate her sexuality. They might hate her religion. But none of that should even matter. Who cares? Why are we so involved? Why is one religion stupider than another? Everyone should just have a good time, and you don't have to listen. Let's just be glad Dave Grohl's not in that band. You know what I mean? Let's just enjoy it.
It's just people are so involved with other people's lives, and like it doesn't. we shouldn't even know about this. And if it is something that's true, let them deal with it. On their own. Like it just shouldn't be in the public eye, or it's just unnecessary shit we didn't need to know. Probably.
She went to the Danny Masterson trial. Danny Masterson was on that 70s show. He's a Scientologist as well. She said that after going to the trial the one time, she heard the facts and then she was done with him. And that's her. It's still her right. Whether we like it, don't like it. They say maybe she intimidated a witness. I don't know about all that. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. There's a picture of me and Danny Masterson out on the internet. Does that mean that I'm in trouble? Does that mean that I can no longer host this show? I mean,
I can't talk to you anymore. I gotta leave.
Yeah. I've got pictures with way worse people than Danny Masterson. But anyway,
yeah, you were just talking about the guy from Beetlejuice.
Yes, true.
He may have done something worse.
We say he's evil, even.
Maybe.
But so anyway, we addressed Linkin Park. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. Just listen to the old Chester records. He was a very nice guy. It's a tragedy that somebody felt in life they wanted to off themselves. Life is a funny thing. I mentioned I'm turning 50. I feel like you start to figure out life in the final chapter. Right when you start to get it, you realize I don't have that much longer.
The final chapter.
Yeah. See?
That's why I don't talk garbage on people. The final chapter. I'm like, ain't gonna talk about it.
I talk plenty of garbage, but we call it entertainment.
Two vapes. Get this going. It's like double bass.
Yeah, none more bass. But you start to figure out life as you get older, and you better enjoy it. I tell people, be careful that you don't wake up old. A lot of people go out and do things and think it's going to last forever. The question that I ask most musicians that I tour with or interview, when you like Blas, when you were in Slaughter and he was a good-looking fella, still is, meeting all these ladies, playing these arenas. Did you think it would last forever? He said no. He said, I knew 100% that this had a shelf life. And I asked him and Matt, because sometimes we play arenas, did you ever think you'd be playing arenas again? No. But sometimes people take it for granted, the ride. Greg Steele from Faster Pussycat said, getting signed and making it big is like you're in a house and it gets picked up in a tornado like the Wizard of Oz and it spins around and then it just drops you right back where you started and it's all over. And so sometimes you've got to stop, smell the roses, enjoy it, be fortunate that you get to do these things and see new experiences. The reason why I think people enjoy my tour diaries is that I go to places that many people will never get to experience. For good or for bad, but they like to see my reactions. Like my current episode, I went to the Outsiders house in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm going back in November to do more locations there. But I think you have to remember that life is short no matter what. You don't know when you're going to die. You're going to. That's a spoiler alert. At the end of the day, we're all going to die. And so you want to live as much as you can because at some point, time's up. So for now, don't be so concerned with who the singer for Linkin Park is or what Dave Grohl does with his wiener. Do things that you enjoy doing and try to, make a difference. Be happy. Cancer, things like that will definitely change the way you look at life. So anyway, a lot of people saying nice things in my life, I have a 10-year plan, but I have to live 10 years. But I have a list of things that I want to accomplish in that 10 years, and hopefully I'll make it. But anyway, everyone's going to live their own lives. Okay, so we talked about all the current events. We talked about the tragedy in Ohio. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets. We talked about Dave Grohl's wiener. We talked about the singer for Linkin Park.
Wiener.
Dave Elfson's wiener. The girl from Linkin Park not having a wiener. And so we had a Stephen Pearcy show here in Las Vegas last weekend. The bill was Vixen, Stephen Pearcy, and Vince Neil. It was at a big, giant outdoor venue. It was 104 degrees on stage. It was insane, and I can't believe people could go out there and put up with it. Um, it was fun, but I can tell you, and Wednesday, you'll agree with me. There's nothing worse than playing or working a show in your hometown. Everybody wants a ticket. Everybody wants a pass. Everybody wants a pass of a certain color. They want a better pass than the other pass. Everyone needs something. And the biggest problem, at least on the touring level that I'm doing, is that there's nothing going on backstage. I promise there's nothing happening. There's no girls. There's rarely any fun. There's rarely any food. And to be honest, we don't hang out. I've made a policy with Stephen Piercy's band. First of all, we keep our dressing room dry. There's no drinkers in the band. And so we don't keep alcohol. We don't let Steven hang out at shows because why would he? He doesn't need to sound check. He comes in 5 minutes before he plays and he leaves right after the meet and greet. And it's not a and if people want to meet him, they can go to the photo op and do that. But we're not really hanging out. It's work, as you know. The goal is to have fun on stage and let the audience be part of it. But it's work. And I got so many requests. And then when I would put people on the list, they would say their pass wasn't good enough. There's so many ungrateful people. It was exhausting. And the other thing is, it was really Vince's show. Vince was the closer. And I don't think it's appropriate for us to bring all these people back while Vince is trying to, are you laughing at a comment or my comment?
No, I just we were just talking about the cats being eaten, and
Oh,
my guitarist Jack just sent me a message and said, "Hey, do we have time to get a new song on the record? My daughter just sent you this song about eating cats, and she's like 4. So when we get off of this, I need to hear a 4-year-old sing me a song about eating cats submitted for my album. I might have to call Alex back up and get back in the studio immediately.
maybe
So
a B side.
stand by. Maybe an A side.
By the way, since we're someone says Coogan doesn't party, well, Coogan's not in the band. I mean, that easy enough.
Yeah.
Easy answer. While we're talking about breaking news and Alex Kane, I've got to make this point, and we'll get out of here soon because we got to get up early. Tomorrow, I will be joining Stanley from Life, Sex, and Death to have a Kiss Pinball Challenge at the Pinball Hall of Fame. He says I can film it and put it out. And so if you don't know what Life, Sex, and Death is, do yourself a favor and look it up. Alex Kane is the guitar player, and he also produced the brand new Wednesday 13 album. A lot of you are asking, what is the name of Wednesday's album? Well, he said it on this show several episodes back. Go back and watch every single episode, and you will see the name. I'm not sure I even know what it is, or maybe I do. I'll have to ask you when we get off the air. But anyway, and you check out that video of us singing on Wednesday's record. Okay, anyway, so we did the show with Vince Neil. And you know what? Vince was good. I know I'm quick to tear people apart. He was better than he had been. And there's a video of him from his last show. People give Motley Crue a hard time. Vince is really singing, for good or for bad, better or for worse. Those other clowns, I don't know what they're doing. They still deny that they're using tracks. Motley Crue thinks that putting out a cover of Fight for Your Right to Party is a good idea. I couldn't think of a dumber band. The only dumber thing they did is Anarchy in the UK. Such an uninteresting band. They're like, well, guess
Well,
what?
that's why I'm blown away that people are making a big deal about this cover. I'm like, have you heard? I mean, it's in league with everything else they've done, whether you like that or you don't like it. It's not any different. It's no different than that White Punks on Dope song or name it. Then they do Like a Virgin. I think that's probably might be the most unmotley Crue thing they've ever done. So there's people just jump on whatever. Like even the magazines were just like beating them up about it. And yeah, is it bad? Probably, but whatever.
Yeah,
That's my
well,
take on it.
yeah, no, and again, don't listen, but Vince has always been nice to me. We had some time to chat with him. I didn't really talk to him very much, but Steven and Bloss did. And anyway, it was a nice night. We had to get up early. We stayed at the D Hotel. Everybody likes to get a little D, apparently. And
Mhm.
Fremont Street is terrible. Las Vegas is terrible. I love living here, but I can't stand that Fremont Street. They were playing music, really stupid hip hoppity hop club music all night under our hotel room window. And you're saying, why didn't I go home? Because we had a 4 a.m. lobby call. We had to stretch a limousine take us to the airport. I wanted to stay with the band. The music was terrible. Everything was terrible. It didn't feel safe. I can't stand downtown. Anyway, it was week 4 a.m. We headed to Hinckley, Minnesota for Rocktember. We went 2 days with no sleep. I came home with a cold. I'm fighting it now, but it was no sleep. I mean, you slept an hour here, an hour there, and went back on stage. The bill at this Rocktember was a band called Van Halen, which is a Van Halen tribute band, a band
Hmm.
called Enough's Enough, which is an Enough's Enough tribute band, and then after that was oh, Jesus, Vane, I think.
Woo,
Yeah,
woo.
Beat the Bullet. I had a nice talk with Davey Vane. He is going to come on the show. Vane has original lineup. Their guitar player Jamie Scott has had has transitioned and is a woman now, and I'm going to refer to her as she. Her name is Delana Scott now, but she is still the original guitar player. Is this blowing your mind?
No, I knew all of this. I seen
Okay.
Vane at the Whiskey, I don't know, years ago, and Vane is awesome. They keep putting out a record that sounds just like they hit pause from the last one. It's
Mhm.
insane. It sounds the same. Uh, Last time I saw them, they were excellent. They were so good last time I saw them. I don't really want to see them again because I'm afraid it will ruin it for me.
They were good. The band I forgot before them was Rhino Bucket. And interestingly enough, the drummer for Rhino Bucket also transitioned to become a woman. She is not in the band presently. Simon Wright was in the band. He's not there right now. I don't know who is there. But I did get to see Brian Forsythe of Kix, who's been on the show many times, and I'm a fan of
Mhm.
Brian Forsythe. I'm a fan of Kix. I saw him at the catering. He's a very strict keto guy. And I said, "Would you eat any of this shit?" As I was eating lasagna, and he said no, and walked away. And
Never had lasagna either.
that doesn't surprise me. But
I don't
anyway,
even know what it is, but we'll talk about that later.
well, it's like layers of pasta with cheeses and meats in between. I think you would be okay with it. But there's
I
sauce,
like
lots of
cheese,
tomato
and I
sauce.
like pasta, and I like meats. Anyway, let's stick to the hair metal. Don't want to get
Yeah,
me thinking about food. I'm hungry.
yeah. So, but what I thought was weird is Enough's Enough went on before Vane and Rhino Bucket. And that's odd to me because Enough's Enough had 2 videos on MTV. And Beat the Bullet was barely on the Headbangers Ball, and Rhino Bucket, nothing. And so I was a little surprised. But I think that maybe Chip has hurt the brand. Maybe they need Donnie to come back to fix it and if I was Donnie, I would be saying, "Look what you did to the brand. You're opening for
What you
Dan.
did to the door? You ruined the door.
You ruined it." Yeah. Um, but anyway, it was fun to watch. I did not get to see Enough's Enough. I did not get to see Ronald Bucket. I did see Vane. After Vane was Aldo Nova, and that was
Uh,
fun.
Blood
I only
on the
knew
bricks.
I knew Blood
Fantasy.
on the Bricks, yeah, and I knew the
Fantasy.
Fantasy song. That's it.
That's it. Yep.
Then after that, Steven played. After that was Loverboy, and
They s- are they on? If they're not on track, their videos, what I've seen, they sound pretty consistent and pretty good.
I looked around. I'm going to be honest. I looked at every band setup. There was one band that I already named that was heavily relying on tracks. I
Hmm.
went to their drums. I found their laptop. I found their stuff, and there was one band that heavily relied on tracks. I will not say who it was, but Loverboy did not look like they were doing tracks. Everyone is original except the bass player who died, and the bass player they got is from a Canadian band called Street Heart, very famous Canadian band, and he was a great bass player. They were great live. I'm not a giant
Street Heart.
Street Heart, not Steel Heart, Street Heart,
That's a good. That sounds like a John Claude Van Damme movie.
or a show about a guy on a motorcycle.
Yeah, maybe.
Uh, and then people are saying maybe they wanted to spread out time between Johnny and Enough's Enough. Well, I will tell you that Chips Enough Bloss brought Chip into the dressing room to see Johnny Monaco, and they bonded. They had a nice time. And Chip stayed on stage all night and watched Johnny play. And he said some nice words. Some of the conversation, maybe it was private. I was going to ask Johnny to come on, but he's running around doing things. Johnny will be back at some point to talk. But anyway, so it was a good event, but very tiring. We just got home. I'm leaving Friday morning to go to Amarillo, Texas, for another fun show. It's going to be Steven Adler, the original drummer of Guns N' Roses, um, Slaughter, Queensryche, and Stephen Pearcy. It's going to be a fun time in Amarillo. I'm excited that it's just one show. We get in the night before at a reasonable hour. We play at a reasonable hour, and then the next day we leave in the afternoon at a reasonable time, and it's a nice, easy trip. But that's what I wish I could join you. If I wasn't playing, I would be right next to you in the King of Prussia. Guys, look up Famous Monsters of Filmland if you want to attend. If you want to meet Wednesday, this is the best place to go and say hello and hang out, get some
Let's see.
merchandise.
Can you pull up who's going to be there? I don't even
Yeah.
know. I need to plan this. I'm packing.
I got to tell you, I was jealous. There's another convention that's going to be in Ontario, not Canada, California. And I want to go to this thing. Maybe you would want to go too. We'll talk about that at a time to be named later.
And I got I got booked on Monster Palooza here in Burbank.
In Burbank.
Thanks to Mr. Malfunction. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, let's take a look who's going to be at this thing. Hold on. I see the Gorn is going to be there. Why is this so difficult? Why can't I just find guests?
It should just go down. Just go down the page. Scroll down the page. It should be at the bottom of that page. I think your page is just.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I see it now. Yeah, I was going to call Corey Taylor and give him a piece of my mind. Bobby Clark, that's the Gorn. Peter Criss, that's the sometimes the drummer for Kiss. Darcy, the male girl, she's an adult film actress, but she's on the Joe Bob Briggs thing. Pablo Escobar. Oh, no, Sky Elobar. Ken Foree. Bin Fariua, Ultraman, which is cool. I have a photo with him. He'll make you do the thing if you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do pictures all the time with fans and do that. They don't even know what the hell I'm doing.
You need it. Yeah, that's fun. All right. Let me just read the people I heard of. Kane Hodder, Bill Johnson, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
My friend is working Bill Johnson, so I haven't met Bill before. And I don't I've met him briefly, but I really haven't had a chance to talk to him.
Well, this is your chance to bond. Tyler Main, who is the fake Michael Myers.
I know Tyler Main because he's the guy that fought Joe Dirt.
Gotcha.
He told him to stick his head up his butt and fight for air.
This is the singer for Skinny Puppy.
Ogre, yeah, he's a friend of mine.
Ogre, yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while, but all the conventions I did in the very beginning, I would fly to them with Ogre and fly back, and we would sit and talk about everything from music to aliens, and that guy is knowledge and knows.
Maybe we should get him on the show sometime.
I don't think he talks much.
He doesn't.
I don't know. I don't see him really doing much at all, but he may. But he's a cool dude, and if you go back and look at some of his makeup and just some ideas visually, I mean, visually that's a band that's probably outdone their music. It's just, I mean, he was doing stuff that Manson, does. He did the stilt thing. The guy's done weird stuff. He'll play completely backwards. It's weird. He was definitely an influence on me when I did the weird stuff.
Steven and I met him at the Mad Monster Party, and I told Steven he's from Skinny Puppy, and Steven laughed and said, "Is that a real band?" Then there's the Puddles Pity Party. That's going to be good. This guy here looks like Benny Hill in the middle. I didn't know Benny Hill was going to be there.
I wish, but no.
Andy Serkis. George Takei is going to be there.
I know.
You're sharing a row with Sulu.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot in common.
That's me. That's what I do, guys. I share.
Look at that. I don't know who the man between the two of you is.
That's
Oh, he's the
James Warren.
yeah, Vampirella. I see now, and he's the co-founder of the magazine.
There you go.
Yeah, they saved the best for last. Anyway, you want to go
Mhm.
to this thing. You want to get a ticket for the King of Prussia. And this is a kind of a Valley Forge casino resort. Oh, you're going to have fun.
It's
3
gonna be
days.
awesome. I'm
Fun.
excited. I get in tomorrow, and it's gonna be cool. I'm doing like professional photo ops, which I've never done those at shows before. I'm doing those on. If you click on there, I don't even know where it is, but I think I'm doing those Saturday and Sunday. I'm gonna probably bring my stage clothes and maybe dress up on Saturday for that day, and we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Not having this tour happen this summer bummed me out. So being able to go out and do stuff and go to concerts and go to these things fills in the gaps of that for sure.
I think it's great. And, I said at some point we would go do some of these shows together. I'd like to do a live broadcast. I think at some point you, Sean, and myself could do a podcast at one of these conventions. We've
Hmm.
talked about playing music. That could happen at some point too for fun. But doing a podcast, all kinds of things we can do. So I'm glad you're getting out there on the circuit. Sean is going to be at Horror Hound in Ohio. So we've got you
Hmm.
covered. If you're in Ohio, you get to see Sean. If hide your dogs and your cats because they're eating them, they'll eat your pets. If you're
Hmm.
in the King of Prussia, you can meet the Duke of Spook. He will be there. And if you're in Amarillo, Texas, you can meet myself. So we've got you covered. We're covering the United States, the dream team, if you will. Oh, it's someone. It's Wednesday 13's nail polish's birthday, and they would like us to say happy birthday. No one knows your name. No one knows if you're an actual person. But Wednesday, would you wish a happy birthday to your nail polish?
Happy birthday.
There you go. And
Sorry, I was thinking when you said Amarillo, I was thinking about this dumb country song that I wrote on the bus that I kept singing and making everybody laugh, and it's so dumb.
mhm,
Would you like me to try some of it? it's
I would like that.
it's kind of got a little Pee Wee influence. If you'll might notice it. It's like the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Amarillo, Texas. That's pretty much what I got there.
Very good. You should put it on Spotify.
It's more of like a campfire song, you know. It's kind of like the stars at night are big and bright, you know. And you got to do that long or kind of a short eye, like every eye is an eye. The stars at night are big and bright, and you
I
got to
like it.
get ice cream. You know, that's how you say it. It was influenced by George Strait.
hmm and speaking, well, you could either meet George Strait or you can meet George Takei, which is the opposite. But also, if Beyonce could put out a country record, why couldn't Wednesday
I
13?
have 3 country albums. Look up Bourbon Crow, everybody, and you will be amazed at the amount of dumb drinking anthems that I have created along with my buddy Ray, and we both share vocals in that band, and uh, it's a whole other side of me that you don't even know. The backside, like the dark side of the moon.
Mhm.
That's kind of like that of me.
Uh, all right, Wednesday. Well, we with almost 300 people here, the
Woo.
entire show. I thank everyone for watching. And Wednesday, when we talk privately, we're going to talk about that convention in Ontario. We got to
Hmm.
see about Halloween Horror Nights. If you figured it out, I'm having a hard time finding a day, but maybe we can.
I don't
And
think I'm going. She's going while I'm away.
yeah,
I think she's going tomorrow to it. So I don't think I'm cut out for any of those kind of things. I don't know. I don't think my
it's
old
not
body
the
can take
best.
it.
It's not the best licensed thing this year. There's not a lot of stuff that we like. There's a lot of these new movies, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm not sure you're missing out. Anyway, this is your last chance to like, comment, subscribe, super chat, any of those things. And Bourbon Crow is on Grimcat's playlist.
It's
And
on
everybody that
Spotify. Some of it, not everything is on there, but some of the stuff's on there. Some of the greatest hits, like "Suck My Dixie," "Drink Till You Ain't Ugly Anymore," another classic one.
sounds
Um,
incredible.
yeah, it's some good stuff. It was, it's the like I said, it was a fun little project I did, and we did 3 full-length albums.
Yeah. And a lot of people, oh, there's Grace. Thank you, Grace. A lot of people are saying, make sure you hug your pets tonight. Absolutely. Hug your pets, hold them close, because right now there's bad people. I mean, evil, bad people. These people are bad and they're evil. And they will eat your dogs and they will eat your cats. They're going to eat your dogs and cats. Cats, they eat dogs, and they will eat your pets. And you really need to be careful. This is what's happening. America, we're in a crazy place. This
Hmm
is why young people should get out and vote or something.
I
Uh,
have 2 outside cats right now that I'm worried about. I just fed them, and now I hope that someone isn't going to come along and eat them. And then imagine that. Imagine if you ate an animal after it just had a full meal, and then you were eating it, and then you started to taste the dog food inside of the dog, and then you're like, oh, now I don't like to taste the dog food. Then it just ruins
never,
your appetite.
I never thought about it that way, but
And I have many times,
it's yeah.
unfortunately, but that's the curse I have.
All right. Well, anyway, I thank everyone for watching. We will
It's
see you.
ridiculous what I just said. Now I'm thinking about it. It's ridiculous to even think about something
You
that
think
far.
that that's ridiculous, but as if anything else we said in the last 90 minutes was, was
That
not.
is ridiculous. So you eat a dog that just ate dog food, and then you eating it and then you get to the dog food, and you're like, oh, this makes me sick. It's
That's two
terrible.
meals, though.
That's same for cats or any animal that eats food, or eating a cow. And oh, look at all this grass it just ate. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
Is that
All
what the
right, go
cows
to
eat?
official Wednesday13.com and go support and all things. I'm trying to get some of these comments. Support all things Wednesday 13. I thank him for coming on
Tomorrow,
here.
when you arrive into Amarillo, you're gonna step off that plane, and you're gonna hear like this like whistle, like a, and you're gonna hear in the back of your mind, the stars at night
Mhm.
are big and bright, deep in the heart of Amarillo,
I
Texas.
might sing it for you on the tour diary. I might do a
It's gonna
cover
be in your
of it
head, and it doesn't even rhyme or anything. It's just
for those
emotion.
watching.
That's nothing but emotion.
We'll be back next week with more of your favorite entertainment. Maybe Sean Clark will join us too. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.